everyone, I hope you are all well. This video is definitely going to be a little bit freestyle because I didn't have so many experiences in Berlin, but from the few experiences that I did have, I thought I would elaborate. Somebody left a comment in my Black in Germany video part 1 that they kind of need a story time on that baby daddy. So I thought, okay, it makes sense for me to kind of give an overview of my experiences of dating in Germany. Okay, so this video is going to be about my dating experiences in Germany. So when I first got to Germany, I did activate Tinder, but I didn't go on any dates. I was seeing some of my course mates on Tinder and I was just like, I wonder if they've seen mine too. But you know, it's not really a big deal. And I was swiping left and right, right and left. Not really looking for the love of my life, but maybe a couple of dates would have been nice. Not Tinder dates, but just dates, you know, just kind of like get a feel for the scene, get a feel for dating in Germany. I kind of had a few chats but never really met up with anyone, mostly because I was in Frankfurt Hahn. I was like by Hahn, the airport, and nobody really lives around there. I mean, there are people who are from the area, but everybody who I was swiping with were like miles and miles away, like Frankfurt or just some other city. I didn't meet anybody from there, but then when I got to Berlin, I decided to have the app on my phone, started talking to a couple of people, didn't really have any dates, but then it got to a point where I actually met someone, and that was incredibly spontaneous. I got to Berlin like literally just before Christmas. I had my first flights the day before Christmas Eve, and then my birthday is like start of January, and on that day I did meet somebody, which was like such a weird thing. It was my birthday and nobody could celebrate with me, none of my course mates, and I didn't know anybody in Berlin. And so I was thinking, I'm just going to celebrate my birthday by myself. I'm gonna get a bottle of wine, gonna get dressed up, I'm just gonna go take myself out. That was the plan. Not to get drunk and get hammered and like completely lose control, but just to kind of cheers to the day, celebrate with myself, and then just see how it goes. Like I'm not, it sounds wild, but I'm really not wild. I just wanted to do something because I've not celebrated my birthday in around 3 years, even though I'm super grateful to have life and to have made it to another year. But this year I was just determined to just do something, even just something for myself. So then I was on Tinder. It was activated, but I wasn't really like actively using it. And as I was going out to buy the ingredients for my birthday meal, I noticed I matched with somebody. They sent me a message and then they were like, oh, would you like to meet for a coffee today? I don't know, I feel like German guys, anytime they want to meet you, they want to meet you now. I'm just like, why? why like, but why is it that I matched with him? I really don't know why I matched with him, because he only had like one picture. It was not like the most concise profile. Okay, it was concise in a way, but it was like not the most like detailed profile. Anyway, he turns out to be a really nice person. He was like, could you want to meet for coffee? I said no, because like I'm preparing my birthday meal for myself. He said, oh, but I can come over and help you cook, and we can cook together. And I thought, wow, that's actually a really nice idea. But then I was like, can I trust this person? But then I thought, actually that would mean that I don't have to celebrate by myself if I celebrate with them. So I said they have to show me ID, you know, I have to really what's the word, check them before. So then we ended up cooking. Some people, I know you're gonna be like, what, Tabitha, you let random. Okay, yes, sorry. He did show me his ID. I feel like people do worse things in the club. People do much worse things out there, you know, with people that they don't even know. All we did was like cook together. He was doing a bit of smoking in the kitchen, and some of you may just be judging now like, oh my goodness, how can you make such a choice? But he really did help me to celebrate my birthday. Very nice person, tall and blonde, you know. We cooked, had really nice meal, ate all the food. We made actually a jollof rice with chicken and some avocado and some salad. Had like the whole bottle of wine and just kind of listened to loads of music, and it was actually quite nice. Then after that, I just thought, I'm not interested, you know, because like this person, he's a smoker. And I know that he does not like the fact that he smokes, because he knows how destructive it is to his body. And yet how somebody he's like such a health freak but like a smoker. And so he didn't really like the fact that he smoked, but he, you know, started quite young, and you know, it's quite difficult to shift these addictions when you've been doing it for so long. So he was definitely against it, but had to do it, had to smoke, you know. I personally do not like to be with a smoker, to even kiss a smoker, to be around smoke, because then the smoke kind of gets into all your clothes and it just kind of contaminates. So I didn't really like that. Like I said, I was just not like open to anything really. We did have a small kiss here and there, but I was just not into it because of the smoke, because I just was not like, I feel like when you really want to be like, to even to kiss somebody, you have to really like that person. Even if that person is physically attractive, you have to develop some kind of connection with that person. And imagine you meet someone that day and then you have to kiss them. I just think that romance cannot be developed in a moment. I just think that love or like attraction cannot usually be developed in a moment. Plus, how do you trust somebody? You know, are they healthy? Do they have illnesses that can be transferred from lips to lips? Because it's real. It's real. You always have to be quite cautious of these things and not just make a momentary mistake. He ended up actually being a very nice person, a very nice cook. Kind of developed that connection of getting comfortable with each other, but things never got past, never got official, because you know, I was just not there. Number one, not there long enough. Number two, not invested. Number three, probably not attracted. Not because he was not attractive, but simply because I was just not open to. This is the problem. And even no matter how good looking a person can be, if you're not open to opening your heart, they will never have access to you. So he could actually tell that I was not there. He could tell that I was not attracted to him, which is never a good thing. It's really never a good thing. There were some times when I did feel like attracted, sometimes, and I feel like that definitely could have been developed more, but it would have taken time and trust. And yeah, that was my first experience and probably my longest standing connection in Berlin, the first one. I would say that, how would I describe him? He was very organized. He was very regimented, I would say. Loved music. I didn't hear him speaking German often, but of course he's German, so he speaks German. Very much into his hobbies. He had worked in, you know, more corporate world job before. He just kind of decided to step into a different career to allow room for the other hobbies that he had. I could tell that he had a good relationship with his mother, because sometimes he would be talking on the phone to her. So yeah, he was somehow a family guy in a way, but then at the same time he did express to me that he was quite selfish and that he didn't want to have kids, and that it was just not something he was thinking of at the moment. I guess maybe with time eventually he wanted to, but yeah, he was just kind of really into his hobbies. That's something that he really wanted to kind of, you know, zone into. So that was my first experience with a German man. That was it. My next experience was on Bumble. Like I think I briefly mentioned him. We met on Bumble one day. I was off work because my schedule was, you know, 5 days on, 3 days off. So I had 3 days off work, and then I was swiping. And you guys know, when you match with someone, when you match with a guy, you have to be the one to send the first message. So what I did was I just sent him an automatic message. And the thing is, when you actually send a German guy a message, automatic, non-automatic, he actually responds. When you send a guy a message here in London, automatic, really authentic, long messages. Like I did a test, which I'll talk about after, but like you send a guy a message in German, he actually takes it seriously. So then I just sent a message like, what's your favorite ice cream? I'm sorry if I'm being monotone, but I'm trying to keep my voice down. Then I sent a message like, what's your favorite ice cream? Because it was like one of those automatic Bumble messages. And then he said Schokolade, of course. I don't know how you pronounce it in German, but anyway, it was like chocolate, of course. Dark chocolate. Yeah. Then he said dark chocolate, of course. Then he said, oh, would you like to meet for an ice cream? And it's like, whenever I match with these German guys, they want to meet immediately. Why? I don't understand. Why can't we plan to the future? Why can't we plan for tomorrow, or like for my next day off? It has to be now. But you know, the thing is, I was actually off that day, and I think I was just kind of like, I was not in the mood for going out at all at all. But then I thought, you know, I looked out the window, it was a really nice day, and so I thought, okay, I'll meet you. I used to live in a neighborhood called the Wedding, so then we met up just in front of the shopping center, went for the ice cream. It wasn't very nice. Nah, it was kind of grainy a bit. It was a little bit grainy, but I ate it anyway. I don't even know what flavor I got. I probably did not get chocolate. I probably got caramel. I don't know what flavor I got, but we got an ice cream. Then we started walking, and he took me to actually a very high point in Berlin where you could actually see over the neighborhood and kind of see over the city and see down to like Alexanderplatz and see kind of a few monuments. And it was a really nice kind of nature walk. The weather was warm, but it was still kind of like the end of winter. It was kind of transitional weather, so as soon as the sun kind of started disappearing, it was getting cold again. So we were still on this walk. When we came down to like street level again, we tried to walk through the trees, you know, because there's a really nice cycling and walking path with the trees arching. We were walking there, and I was like, oh, I'm getting a bit cold, can we go inside please? And he was like, oh no, but I like nature. And I was like, oh, but it's really cold. It's really cold, do you mind if we go inside? He's like, oh, but I like nature, I like it outside. And we had a big conversation. We talked about a lot in like a short space of time, and I feel like he was really trying to get to know me in a short space of time. And usually I'm the one kind of like asking intense questions, but for the first time I have this man asking me kind of like intense questions, like, what do you want, what are you looking for? And I was like, oh wow, okay. And he just caught me off guard, because usually I'm the one who's probably more relationship focused. Then I said, like, I don't know, because I feel like I had been conditioned to reverse psychology say I don't know, when really I do know what I want. And I was just kind of in a messed up, I was just kind of like mind boggled. But then he said that he's looking for like a serious long-term relationship, and I figured, okay, maybe that's why he's kind of being a bit intense with me, you know, on the first date, saying I'm looking for long-term relationship and this and that. And you know, he was actually a nice guy, good looking, but I could tell maybe he's not really aware of his looks, because he was actually a good looking guy, or maybe he wasn't comfortable around me. Yeah, I don't know. I was just really being carefree, because I was just like, I really just went out for an ice cream, so I wasn't putting any pressure on anyone. I was just being chill, just enjoying myself, enjoying his company, trying to at least. Then he eventually agreed for us to go downstairs to go back into the shopping mall. You would think that a guy would, like, when a woman tells them, when the woman of his dreams tells him that she's cold, you would think that he would immediately respond and be like, oh, okay, then let's go inside, or like pass me his jacket or do something. But no, he was like, no, but I like nature. I was like, yeah, you do like nature indeed. He's like, what are we gonna do inside? I was like, we can go for a coffee, we can do window shopping and stuff. So we went inside the shopping mall, and I was quite cold, because like I only put on 2 layers, which is like one thin kind of satin layer top and then another like thin jacket. I was cold, but luckily I didn't live far. So we went inside, and then he was like, what do you want to do? And then we went to look for food, because I think I had food at home, but then I was just like, no, you know, let's just make the most of this day, you know, just eat out if we want to. So we went to look for food. We went to some curry place, which was not really a curry house, it was just kind of a fast food curry stop, kind of like a cafe inside a shopping center, but like selling curry. Yeah, that's what it was like. It was almost like a diner. You can tell them what you want, and then they scoop it out for you. The flavor was fine, but it was a bit cold, and I detest cold food. I don't like when food is meant to be piping hot and it's like lukewarm, or like lukewarm to warm. I did have to pay for myself, and I think this is actually quite common in German men. I think they do not want to waste money on you if they don't know if it's gonna last. So then I thought, okay, I didn't really mind, so I paid for it. Of course, it would have been nice if he would have, you know, made the payment for it, but it's not really a big deal, you know. I feel like one person can pay here, you can pay there. I think nowadays in European culture, especially in like Germany and all these like cold countries, the men usually do like the woman to pay for herself, but when it comes to, you know, the Latin lovers and like, you know, those Casanovas then I think most of the time they do like to pay for the woman to be romantic. I'm not so current with the current dating climate around the world and around Europe. I'm not so in the loop, I would say. But from what I've gathered, being in Iceland and being around the world, one thing I did notice in Sweden is that if a Swedish man, he will ask your permission to pay for you. That's one thing that I noticed, and I'm just basing this on one date with a Swede. He was very kind. I feel like I referred to him as like a person with a heart of gold. world because he was just so super nice, like super nice, you know, I just like so nice. So in that particular country of Scandinavia, Sweden, one man did actually ask me before we even entered the restaurant, is it okay if I pay for you? And I said, of course it's okay, I don't mind, like that's actually really nice, I actually really appreciate that. I think it's because sometimes a man doesn't want to walk into a restaurant, you know, just like pay for something, and then the woman is like, excuse me, especially in Sweden where like feminism is really booming. A lot of women do not like it when a man pays, and that's why I think the Swedish men feel like they need to ask permission before they pay, and it always helps to do it outside of a, you know, a crowded space, just in case it end up in a bad way. You know, it could be a bit awkward if she's like, excuse me, I can pay for my own food. So yeah, I really think that nowadays it's not so common for men to pay for you. So I was like, fine, I'll just pay for myself, it's not really a big deal, you know. It's not a big deal. I could tell he was like not like trying to impress me or anything. It was like, if you like me, you like me, if you don't, you don't. And I actually really did want to see him again, but he never contacted me. He was a Christian. You know, on Bumble you can actually set filters, like a lot of filters. So when it came to Bumble, I actually did have the opportunity to, you know, match with Christians. Funnily enough, his name was actually Christian. I don't feel like I'm giving away his details or his information because there's so many Christians out there, but like I matched with a guy called Christian and he was a Christian. So then I did want to see him again, just because I felt like, you know, sometimes the first date isn't always like a bang, isn't always a hit. Sometimes you can end up meeting up again and then the connection kind of builds up over time. So then we said goodbye, and he never contacted me. He never contacted me again, even though that day, as soon as we departed from each other, I did send a text saying it was really nice to meet you. He replied to that, but then never communicated with me again for like a few months, up until September when he texted me. Even though I deleted his number, he managed to text me. Then he sent me a message saying something like about my hair. You know, one thing I noticed about my hair is that it attracts different types of attention. When it came to that blonde hair, it was attracting all different kinds of men, like not just typical guys that I usually get. It was attracting an international audience. So yeah, it was quite interesting for me actually. I had a really different experience. Black braids on the side and then blonde in the center. It might help for me to actually insert a picture. So yeah, he didn't really communicate back to me, so I just felt like, okay, he's not interested, and I was not in the mood for chasing men. I was not really in the mood for chasing, even though he did tell me, oh, that he's shy or something, and I was like, really? Are you shy, or are you just kind of can't be bothered? Are you actually shy, or can you just not be bothered? I didn't say that, but I was just thinking to myself, like, really? Like, I feel like being shy shouldn't be an excuse. He wanted to just get to know everything about me on the first date and not like consistently invest time, and I just was just not in the mood for chasing men. After that, I didn't meet anybody else from Bumble, but then, like I said about that guy from the cafe in my Black in Germany video, I met him. Now, meeting him, I didn't think that it was like romantic because, like I said, he was carrying a baby. Yeah, I just thought that maybe we just had a connection and we were just like taking advantage of this connection, which could be a good friendship, or which was just, I don't know, let's just see. I didn't think that it was romantic because he had a baby. Now, if you haven't watched that video, maybe it will help to go and watch it, but I will just try and summarize it here. We met in a cafe called Coffee Fellows. We were both in the queue. He was carrying the baby. The baby was really cute. We just started talking. After I got my chai latte, my drink, we continued talking. Then he invited me for an exhibition. I went, he brought the baby, and then a German couple in their 60s saw us and they really loved the look of us, that they just had to take a photo. After that, he did say next time it will just be us, the baby will not be here. I was thinking, where are you gonna leave the baby? But I didn't meet him after that. This is the first time that I really intentionally ghosted someone. He texted me quite a lot. I never replied, not because I thought he's a bad person. I mean, no, I didn't think that, but just because I just thought it was a bit of drama. I just thinking like, this is kind of like, why is he not being upfront about where the mother is, and yet he's trying to meet me again? And I'm like, just like kind of raises red flags. So I just decided I can't deal. I'm just gonna ghost him. He did try and text me like, would you like to meet up again? Would you like to do this and that? I'm leaving the country at this point. This is my last week in Berlin. It was the last German man that I met. All of these 3 men that I met were German, and then I didn't meet anyone else after that. I just think it just didn't happen. I just thought to myself, if I meet somebody, it happens to go really well, I'm gonna have to stay in Berlin or in this city. and I really do not want to do that. So I think maybe I was actively just kind of not dating. I think I was doing that intentionally. So because I knew that I was about to leave, so I didn't want to leave the window open for an opportunity. I also remember chatting to a few international people, like people from other countries who were living in Berlin, just via text. Berlin is super international scene. You get to meet all different people from around the world, which is pretty cool. So even if you do hit it off with someone, doesn't mean you have to stay there. But like I say, it's not necessarily bad to stay in Berlin. It is really not bad, but for me personally, I just didn't want to do it. So yeah, it was quite good that there was always the option of like talking to international people. I feel like when you're dating these European men from wherever they're from, you meet someone, for example, I don't know, a Swede in London. You can live here for a few years, but I guarantee you one day he's gonna turn around and tell you, I want to move back home. And now you have to be prepared to move with him. Otherwise, how is the relationship gonna last? You meet someone from Germany in London, he's probably gonna tell you that, after 3 years, I want to go back home. I want to go back to Germany. We're gonna say, no, I want to stay here. Do you divide your family up? Maybe he'll agree to stay, but I feel like there's always gonna be that, desire to return home. Maybe even with the UK, how do you guys feel about the UK as a home base? For me, it's probably a bit of a different case because I am British. However, I am also Ugandan. I wouldn't say I'm also Ugandan. I am British and I am Ugandan. So I've got these two cultures. However, I would class the UK as my first home. If I were to meet somebody from Germany, chances are it's probably me who's gonna have to move. Because in Germany, you're always gonna be able to learn English at school. Whereas in England, you won't spend as much time learning German. And of course, your other half wants your kids to learn their language so that they can, communicate. And not just their language as they speak it to them, the language as it's written and communicated in. And it helps to go to school for those things, for the grammar and, all the rest. So that's another reason why I stopped dating in Germany, because I didn't want to be stuck there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been interesting for you. I hope I've answered the question about the baby daddy. He was actually somehow interested, but I had to ghost him, and somehow I feel a bit bad about it, but I think I just kind of like closed the door, which was good. That was my experience dating German guys. I hope I haven't generalized at all. I don't think I have. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe if you're not already subscribed, as well as turn on your notifications so you know exactly when I've uploaded a video, and follow me on Instagram. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.